Hello guys, and welcome to my channel, Astrodesign Coach. My name is Lily, and this channel is all about mysticism, spirituality, as well as practical tips from a lot of deep and very interesting systems like astrology and human design and the GENEKEYS. So in this channel, I make prediction about the future. I tell you about the basis of each and one of us and how to utilize it to your own benefit without hurting your own self, your feelings, or your self-being and your physical body. As well, in the upcoming months, I'm going to upload videos regarding crypto analysis and crypto predictions. So if this is something that interests you, I invite you to be a subscriber in my channel and don't forget to push the bell button. Before I begin this video, that is going to talk about all the secrets about the 2022 year, I want to tell you a little disclaimer. Everything that I do in this channel is for your benefit, for your knowledge, awareness. It's not individual consultation, of course. For that, I need to see all the details of your map through your birth details. So take it as to your advantage, as something interesting, entertaining, and use it as you will, because every one of us is 100% responsible for our lives. So after this small disclaimer, I will continue with this very special and interesting video, because every one of us likes to know what is going to happen and how can we be prepared to the future better. This video, I'm gonna reveal forecast secrets about 2022. In this prediction, I'm going to address only the position of the generational planets, the planets that move the most slowly in our solar system. Okay, because they move so slow, they affect our entire universe and global happenings. So I will talk about the planets Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter. And I will show you what are they gonna do in 2022 and how they will influence us, generally speaking, okay, on the global level, not individual, because I'm not going to talk at all about the personal planets. And I'm gonna base my forecast on astrology and human design and GENEKEYS system. So it's going to be very deep knowledge with lots of practical tips. So you better watch it till the end. When I'll talk about aspects between the planets, I'm referring to about 4 or 5 degrees difference. This means, for example, the trine aspect, which is usually 120 degrees, I will refer to it between 125 degrees till 115 degrees for each planet. It is important to note that I will pay special attention to the global health situation, the economy and market, and important events that can harm the general public health, and in general will be a more dangerous periods, okay? Significant aspects in the universe and regression of the generational planets will be in detail I will show you the dates that each regression of the generational star planets is going to happen. I will not talk about the moon eclipses or sun eclipses or new moon, full moon, regression of Mercury or other personal planets. This I will provide information only in my forecasts for only in my monthly forecast. So in order to know that, I invite you once again to subscribe to my channel. So let's begin with the aspects, very important aspects that are going to happen in 2022. So Saturn will still be making a harsh 90 degrees to Uranus on January, but from February, we will have a relief from this harsh aspect until the 21st of July. But since 25th of July, we are going to be haunted again by these problematic aspects until the end of the year. I made a special video about this aspect and what it and its influence on us. So I will put a link beneath this video, and you can see it in the upright screen if you want to dig deep into that knowledge. From September till early November, this aspect between Uranus and Saturn is going to be accurate. It means that the difference between them is going to be only 1 to 2 degrees. So it's going to be very, very influential then. In the next screen, I will show you the dates of the other generational planets and their aspects. In general, I want to tell you about the more problematic months that we are going to encounter on the 2022 year, that are going to be full of chaos, even violence and potential for adverse events. It's going to happen, first of all, from the mid-March till the beginning of April. There may be existential changes in the weather, government's restrictions and delays, and also health problems will worsen. The last week of April until the early May, mainly problems with economic and health issues. Towards mid-July until the 22nd of August, there can be natural disasters, aggression on the part of governments, and problems with control and change. So we will feel like chaos, and the events is going to be belligerent in the world, lots of frustration and problems regarding new laws and attempts of the government to tighten the control issues over the citizens. So it's not going to be very, very pleasant. As well, from the mid-August until the early September, we are going to have economic problems, and then extreme changes in the economy when Saturn returns to the problematic aspect with Uranus, especially by early November. November months this year and the next year is not going to be very light and happy months, because we have lots of planets in Scorpio, which makes opposition to Uranus in Taurus, and 90 degrees, very problematic and challenging degree, to Saturn which is going to still reside in Aquarius. So these problematic months can bring a lot of ups and downs in economy, health, and even violent events around the world, whether it is by people or nature. So do not plan anything important to these months at all. But it's only going to be until the 20th of November, and after 20th of November, there's going to be a significant relief. So it's not going to be long, but still don't make huge plans for these periods. Generational planet regression. In general, any regression of a planet weakens the effect and the qualities of that planet. It causes it to do diagnosis for what has been done already. So it's not a good point or period to start something new. It is best that you improve the past over these periods of regression regarding to the planet that makes the regression and regarding to the placement that this planet have in your birth chart. I will show you in the next screen the dates of the regression of the slow-moving planets. So let's dig into the planets itself. I will start with Neptune. It will be in Pisces until the 2026 year. In general, it represents illusions, hallucinations, even mysticism, spirituality, obscurity, intuition, imagination, supernatural ability like channeling. It's supposed to be the ruler of Pisces, but it says that Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces as well. But being in Pisces for Neptune, it only amplifies and emphasizes the strengths and weaknesses of its own character. Because in Pisces, he has a great plan for humanity, a desire to enlighten everyone with universal love and connect to the higher self. But in this placement, Neptune is disorganized, lacks orderly agenda, which makes its plans more hallucinatory than reality. There is no doubt that in the above years, since Neptune is in Pisces, a lot of people are going to wake up to themselves, to their true nature, true self, and connect more to their spirituality. Neptune is also responsible for infectious disease and viruses like coronavirus. Astrologically, during the 2022 year, Neptune does not create any challenging aspect with other generational planets. Therefore, we will not face any global problems that could indicate some even balance with the corona issues. But whenever one or more personal planet is going to be between the 18th until the 25th degree of Gemini, Virgo, or Sagittarius, there will be increase in problems regarding the properties of gate 36, and this knowledge comes from human design, because Neptune is gonna reside almost all 2022 year in the 36th gate, and I will detail about this gate in a short while. So in addition, when Mercury or Mars is going to conjunct Neptune, Corona's problem, of course, are going to rise. I will describe this in the monthly forecast that I will make for you. So if you want to be notified in advance about these very important global events, I invite you to subscribe to my channel once again. So let's talk about the 36 gate and design wise. Neptune is a planet that makes the energy of the gate in which it resides to be obscure to us, hide the properties of that gate. It's making this gate to be a blind spot in our map, but also the place where we grow spiritually. Until the 6th of March, Neptune is going to be at the 22nd gate, but from 7th of March until the end of the year, it will be at the gate 36. And I will refer and detail the 36 gate only. So this gate has a very, very emotional and fickle energy that always feels like it does not have enough experience in life. And therefore, it tries to gain that experience through multiple experiences that inevitably lead to crisis. This is the gate that's called crisis and chaos. It's expressed as collective emotional vortex. Like all emotional energy in the human design map, there is a wavy movement that makes the clarity of the here and now to be obscure. But because it is Neptune, people will not wait for the clarity. They will not want to withhold themselves from experience something new. And that's why people are going to jump from one experience to another in order to enrich their experience world, and this will lead to crises. Neptune is also a planet of fantasies, and gate 36 tried to express the fantasies of the 31 gate in human design. Genetically, there is an urge here that encourages people to break through the limitations of experience and experience new things. This is accompanied by emotional anxieties in our lives, particularly in the relationship realm. What usually happens is that what you cannot get from one source, you are usually looking for from another source, both sexually and in terms of realizing your fantasies in every other field. It is an impersonal energy meant to simply expand our experience, and the more experience, the better. Our personal front relationship love is where it's going to throw the most distractions. Because it is Neptune that is responsible for the world of medication and drugs altering reality, people will try to escape from reality through virtual experiences and through addictive drugs. Ultimately, the issue here is to releasing the urge for new experience, releasing the need to experience something new all the time at in any cost. Only liberation with the help of high spiritual awareness and ideals will save us from dangerous addictions and ineffective escape from reality as well as from crises. Let's continue to the effect of Pluto in our lives in the upcoming year. Pluto in general is the planet of power, control, transformation, sexuality, matters relating to death and resurrection, and of course not in the literal sense of it. It likes to make powerful changes when such a change usually comes with harsh and slow labor pain. It is a generational planet that affects an entire generation because of the slow shift it has from sign to sign. Many are born with Pluto in the same sign. And for the generation, it shows how this generation will bring changes to the world. Pluto is in Capricorn from 2008 and is going to reside there until the 21st of March 2023. So this generation has come to change how we accept authority, responsibility, and commitment to ourselves, to change laws and create a new norm and law framework in the world. Its transit in all that fields will undergo a revolution. And this means that all government laws, standards, obligation, everything old and fixed is going to change. In terms of human design, Pluto is our place for transformation. It's an energy that we have been debating all our lives, whether to follow Pluto or give up. It is a place where we seek and explore the deep truths beyond the scene. This is a place where we have to deal with our dark side, a war between darkness and light. Design-wise, until the 14th of January, Pluto will be at the gate 61, and then it will enter gate 60 until the 6th of September. And since the 7th of September until November, it returns a little while for the 61 gate. But after that, until the end of the year, Pluto will be at gate 16. But before I will detail about the 60th gate, I want to take your notice about the fact that astrologically, Pluto does not create any challenging aspects to other generational planets, only for the personal planets, especially when they are in the following degrees, from the 25th until the 30th of Aries, 21st degree of Cancer, up to Leo 2nd degree. And when the personal planets will be in Libra between 22 and 30 degrees, it will cause problems in control, lack of control. There will be political and government power struggles and other power changes that I will detail in monthly forecast during the next year. So especially in these times when the personal planets will be at the degrees and signs that I mentioned, the 60th gate, the negative energy of it will be amplified. So let's talk now about the 60th gate and what it means. So this is the energy of restriction, and it represents everything that is old. It shows us everything that has been rooted in the past. There is a high chance of depression here because there is a feeling that nothing will change for the better ever. There is a need here for change that's come only after breaking current conventions and restrictions. How convenient. It is a pressure gate to mutate and change, but it's full of restrictions. Once there is an accumulation of the old and a lack of change, energy can suddenly erupt in its drive for something new. But as long as the restriction is not acceptable, it is impossible to exceed it. Remember that. As well as what I mentioned, this energy is very individual. Therefore, the process here in this energy is very personal, and each one of us will have their own limitation the next year that we will have to accept before we will be able to accomplish something better and to remove all restrictions that we have. So each process here will indicate a breaking of society's conventions, because there is a very unique energy here that does not like being dictated to what it is supposed to do and how. Therefore, it is necessary to accept the limitation rooted in the individual being in us, and the difference of each one of us from one another. Okay, so Pluto here is going to do transformation for everyone. Whether you accept it, it will be easier. If you don't accept it and you want to stay with the past, it will be a struggle within you and outside you that is going only to bring depression and restrictions to your life. So each one of us will have some kind of inner struggle to shift ourselves from the old to the new, and about the need to be more ourselves versus the need to follow outside norms. Everyone will have to choose for themselves which side to take, but everything is going to be just extreme, black or white, without middle ground. It will produce extremist groups around the world who will face each other. A war between groups who want to overthrow the existing government and make a revolution, and those who by force will want to persevere the existing one. So power struggles will continue and intensify this year between government and the public, between extremists and within us. Let's move on, guys, to Uranus. So Uranus is in Taurus sign from May 2019 until April 2026. It is a planet of chaos, originality, and innovation. It loves change and hates fixation. It is very rebellious and wants freedom, and that everything will go according to its will. It lacks of work ethic, and Taurus is the most fixed, slow. So Uranus here feel very nervous and irritated. Taurus makes Uranus do everything more slowly, and reverses a little bit the characters and features of Uranus. Taurus is the very material sign. It's the most material sign. And therefore, all the qualities of Uranus is expressed in our material world, as well as our value system. So our value systems and the economic side is going to, is already undergoing makeover. So revolutions and economic revolutions are happening already, and the speed of which it happens is accelerated much more in the last years. I expect that until Uranus leaves Taurus, so will the money, cash will leave the cash and go to the internet entirely. Whether it is good or bad depends on the eye of the beholder. Across the internet, it is very, very simple to break to your digital wallets and take all your money away with the passwords in the push of a button. So in my humble opinion, of course, this economic upheaval is for the wars. But it doesn't mean that the current system, the economic system, is good for us as well. No, it's not. It's the other extremist side of it. Because you all know that the banks and the governments are just stealing our money behind our backs. So it is not ideal as well. But because Uranus is a very individual, not community oriented, not supportive planet at all, we will see an economic revolution in all the supportive institutes that we have, like banks that will be liquidated by the 2026, if not before. They will not be needed at all. Charities, pension plans, and unprofitable organization funds, etc., all will become a history of the Pisces era that is fading away. And those who will fail to support themselves financially, who will fail to adjust quickly to these very, very quick changes, will not succeed in surviving. Most of us, of course, already know that about the corruption of government systems and banks. The fact that they steal our money from under our nose and cheat without being punished for it. Everything is corrupt and rotten on the inside. The support only exists for those close to the plate. The rest is only apparent. So in terms of astrology, both this year as last year and a bit of 2020, Uranus creates a problematic aspect with Saturn, and the war between the old and the new continues, and it takes quite a few victims with it. I detailed this phenomenon in an entire video, and I will put the links to it above the screen and behind this video. For those, of course, who wants to go deeper and understand this influence. I will tell it in a few words. Of course, it brings the collapse of economy. It makes lots of unemployment. People don't want to work, to be employees. Lots of changes, lots of rebellion, lots of revolutions. And of course, it makes a lot of chaos in the world, and the war between the old and the new continues. So whenever we will have planets in Aquarius, like over the end of March 2022, it will cause chaos and sudden events with the weather, loss, and morbidity, and even extreme events that will raise mortality. So towards the middle of until the late March to early April, it is a dangerous period. In addition, planets in Taurus, to certain degrees, will cause challenging events, especially in Israel. It can bring about another war. Planets in Leo and Scorpio will cause problems as well, because they will fronting Uranus and Saturn. In the sector, when I explain about the moon nodes, I elaborate on the effect of the proximity of North Node to Uranus. Everything else will be in more detail in the monthly forecast. So in terms of human design, Uranus is the place where we are original, innovative, and rebellious. It's the place in our map where we have surprising changes during our life. I will put the next screen the dates and the gates when Uranus is going to reside in 2022. Most of the year, Uranus is going to reside at the second gate, so I will detail this gate. It is the energy of aesthetics, direction, and femininity. It talks about surrendering to destiny, to existence in the directions that life has chosen for us. The victimization here deals with external events that are allegedly pulling the person in the directions that is not right for him. This gate is about our ability to be connected to our direction, to the geometry of our direction in life, and accept that it is as it should be. The fear here is that we are not in the right direction on individual and collective levels. And this is what we are going to fear the next year. It comes from the wrong feelings and perspectives that we are separate from the whole universe. Uranus is the planet of chaos and revolution, so we will have a lot of it the next year too. People will seek to make a revolution because they will mistakenly think that this is how they will find their direction and belonging in the changing and chaotic world, one on top of the other. People who do not feel spiritual layers within themselves and in their lives feel more lost and attract more suffering. On the other hand, there are organizations and associations that try to suppress life itself and set boundaries by forcing face or some kind of behavior to make people feel lost much more and waste energy on seeking God outside, when in fact, in reality, God exists in every one of you inside. Only the conditioning yourself will help direct you to a place of less suffering next year, and all life through, of course. It's always true. We need to understand that only self-example can change others. Trying to change others by force, especially, won't work. Let's move on, guys, to Saturn. So Saturn is a very limiting and inhibiting planet. It's the planet of lessons and karma, commitment, responsibility, depression, anxiety, and insecurity is all Saturn. He wants to teach us what is tolerance, self-discipline, willpower, and perseverance, and what our boundaries are. It represents the old, structural, and tradition, service to others, something that is fixed and inflexible, and even death. In country maps, it represents democracy, mortality rates, the elderly, conservatism, and anything that causes public grief. Every 2.5 years, Saturn moves from one side to another. And each cycle of Saturn considers to be a cycle of maturation, slow achievements after pushing and passing a difficult lesson wherever he transits. This is the times that challenge us and especially wants us to face the reality and make the changes needed for a more balanced and disciplined life. So astrologically, beyond the problematic aspect with Uranus, it does not create any other problems with the other generational planets, but in March, there will be a multiplicity of issues due to the conjunctions of lots of personal planets to Saturn. that will also make a very challenging 90 degrees to Uranus in Taurus. So we are likely to face lots of frustration, delays, restrictions, new laws, and lack of freedom and privacy. And later, when there are personal planets in Taurus, Leo, or Scorpio, there will also be problems and restriction. So from design point of view, Saturn is where you going to be punished. Okay, it's your restrictions in life. So in the upcoming year, I will put now in the screen the dates when Saturn will reside in each gate. So we will be having several topics the next year, but the more prominent are gate 13 and 49. So I will discuss them. Let's begin with gate 13. It is the energy of the past memory, our ability or inability to utilize past knowledge in order to advance in life. It is the energy of listening or not listening at all. There is an energy here that makes people a victim of their past. Saturn by itself talks about karma. So your past anxieties and worries from the past will come back into your life to help you get rid of these issues once and for all. If you fail to do so, it will lead to depression, frustration, and lack of progress later on. But Saturn will reward you later if you can listen to your past and not repeat the same mistakes. Beyond that, it is an energy of universal ideas and values in a world order that encourages human cooperation. The individual openness to an interaction aimed at future possibilities, but Saturn here will draw us into the past and want us to address it until we close all cycles. So in times when Saturn will be at gate 13, the past will repeat itself. Karma will come back to haunt us. Because this energy is part of the leader channel based on history, leaders will try to control even more using our past and thus convince us to support them. Let's move on to the 49 gate. This energy is the energy of principles and revolution and sacrifice. This gate sets out the principles of resources, who gets what and what they have to do to get it. It determines how to obey to get the resources of the tribe. There is a constant search here for obedience on the part of those who want to get the resources. Potentially, you can know what is needed and what is not the next year, but this gate conditions every need or resource by such an emotional wave very blindly. It's about dictatorship that says the principles it wants others to live regarding the necessities they wish to receive. There is no doubt that there will be principles that we will have to obey to get resources, and our principles will be sacrificed because of the government. But other people will go to war because of their own principles, and it is a very, very cruel energy that requires obedience no matter what, without any awareness and sensitivity to the needs of others. Sometimes this energy expressed in emotional sacrifices and manipulations using resources and emotions. So this is our restrictions the next year. So let's talk about Jupiter, the planet of abundance, optimism, the wise guru who guides others to enlightenment. The lucky planet is going to transit its favorite sign, which is also considered to be its rulership home, the Pisces sign. This year in 2021, Jupiter already was in about 4 months in Pisces, and the next year he's going to be in Pisces for another approximately 4 or 5 months. This fact is very, very strange because Jupiter usually stays in one sign for about a year. But in 2021 and 2022, Jupiter is gonna pass very fast his favorite sign. Only for 8.5 months, he's going to be in Pisces. And this fact is to our detriment entirely, because Pisces is an excellent place for Jupiter. And precisely when we need it so much, it will give us little time for optimism and luck. So let's dig into the design matters to see in depth what will happen with this Jupiter. I will put the next screen, as I did before in this video, the dates and the gates which Jupiter is going to transit. Most of the year, Jupiter is going to be at gate 25 and 17. So this is our main topics for the upcoming year, and I will talk about them. But before I dig into these main topics, I want to consider and in details, but very quickly, the other gates that Jupiter is going to transit, because it's important as well. At the beginning of the year, he will stay at the gate 55 and try to show us our half full glass optimistically, how to break free from dramas and look at the positive side of life. He will then contribute to the people receiving more support and teach them to give it as well, improving socializing and friendship around the world. But unfortunately, for a very, very short period of time. Then he will provide us with plenty of mental inspiration and a way to get out of the confusion. However, some people will be more confused than usually. From mid-March till the 1st of May, Jupiter is going to be transiting through two very emotional gates, the 22nd and 36th gates, and he will try to open our hearts emotionally there. So let's focus on the main gates. I will begin with the 25th gate. This energy refers to the universal love, regardless of religion, gender, and even living on inanimate things. It is a very cold love that loves everything the same. Even a watch can be loved like a child. It is not personal love. It is an energy that attracts to life limiting experiences and difficulties, only to test our naivety and resilience. It is an energy that teaches us about love, but not in its classical sense, but in the universal, non-material sense. In order to succeed in reaching this love, you must first begin from within, to learn to accept yourself and love everything in you, including the traumas and your dark sides. Only then can you open up to such love outwardly. This energy wants to hide psychological traumas without dealing with them. an escape that only brings more traumas and harsh life experiences. Only if you are brave enough and look your trauma in the eye, you can overcome it and even help others with it, to purify yourself and others. This energy is the universal healing for every trauma. But to achieve it, you have to overcome your own traumas. Jupiter here can give a wealth of experiences to test our love and acceptance abilities. The fact that this is a very positive planet does not mean that every transit is going to be positive, because Jupiter expands. This is what he does. And if he resides some kind of negative energy, he will expand the negativity there. So to some people, Jupiter is going to open old wounds, and to some, new wounds. People can be at two extremes using this energy. One group of people can use this energy with characteristic of oppression. They utilize this energy in order to stay in their comfort zone, because they cannot look inward into their pain, and the more they close in on their wound, the more they will close the possibilities of life before them. To get out of their shell, something is out to happen to them that will stimulate them. On the other hand, some people won't recognize or accept their mental pain, making them project this pain on others. They do not bring anyone close to them. They have an unstable character that distances other people's genuine warmth towards them. Because approaching other people is reminiscent of their own mental pain. It makes their relationship cold and hard, full of violence, and of course, do not last long. Only if we will be able to overcome these two types of extremism and reach the ability to accept all people as equals, and if we nourish our ability to receive love and give it to everyone, accept others with their uniqueness and traumas, with compassion and love, only then we will be able to cope with the traumas of Corona and the traumas and chaos that is going to come next year. Let's move on to the 17th gate. It is the gate of opinion. It is an energy that has an opinion on everything, and even an opinion on having an opinion. It is logical thinking and conveys criticism through opinions about patterns and thought patterns. This is where beliefs and ideas grow. Opinion design based on past experience attempts to delineate everything in logical patterns. It is important, though, to understand that every opinion should have a factual basis. Otherwise, it is not worth a penny. That is why many people will try to use this energy to vent their anger on others without checking if they are right or not. Jupiter here will amplify this energy and expand it, and we will get opinionated people all around the world, especially the people that in positions of power will try to convince others that their opinions is the best. Jupiter is the planet of opinions by itself and belief, strict beliefs. So it has the ability to educate others, and that is what we will go through here. Education for the use of those who control. This can be expressed in several extremism energy. First of all, it can be expressed in self-criticism, comparisons too much, and undermining our self-worth. The people that will express this energy this way, they just won't be able to stand on their own opinions or whatever. The other extreme side of this energy is too opinioned people who will create some kind of logic battles to enforce their own opinions and views, and they will increase fighting errors in others. Most of the world's management positions are based on opinions, scientists, systems, and hierarchies. And these people stand their ground, do not listen to others, and they are close to the opinions of others. So if you can get out of the grip of your opinions and understand that opinion is not a territory and it can be changed, only this will contribute to your enlightenment and innovative logical ideas to improve the global rule. I will talk now a little bit about the nodes of the moon. In the next screenshot, I will show you the transits of the node of the moon according to human design. The nodes of the moon teach us what our direction is and that of the world. Throughout the year 2022, they will be in the material Taurus sign. So this is the general direction. There will be general obsessions, illusions, impulses to achieve material pleasures all around the world. Lots of people will try to receive money, beauty, comfort zone in the expense sometimes of themselves and of others. The moon nodes are very sensitive to the ruler of the sign in which they transit. So because we speak about the Taurus sign, it is very important to check around the year long what is going to happen with the ruler of Taurus, that is Venus. Depending on Venus location and aspects to other planets, the digital markets, the other economic markets will go up or will go down. In terms of human design, the lunar nodes are our environment and who we attract into our lives, and it is also part of our destiny. In terms of human design, the lunar nodes are our environment and who we attract into our lives, and it is also part of our destiny. So the beginning of the year is about reorganization when it comes to economics and money. It will reside at the gates 8 and 14 that refers to money, energy investment in our direction, and also in talents. So direction can be very positive. From March to August, we have the gates 4323 activated, and it will bring a lot of chatter in the air. Lots of people would like to prove they are smarter than others. Nobody will listen to one another. It's an energy that likes to talk too much about itself, herself, himself. And it is not a simple energy at all. But I will make a prediction later on in 2022 about this energy in particular. As well, this is the channel of ideas that can be genius, or very unrealistic. And people will try achieve this around the world, and to realize these ideas, freaky ideas that maybe doesn't worth anything on the expense of others, because it is egoistical individual energies that does not consider others at all. The 2343 energy is very opinionated and does not listen to others other than itself. And the presence of lunar nodes here will lead to problems in our direction and inability to focus energy on what is most important to us. And most of the people won't be able to listen to each other. Lunar nodes will be at the base gates after that, in the yin and yang energy, the first and the second gate. And here they will try to balance the subject, the material matters, and give individual expressions that suits each person. If only we will be able to overcome the outside controls that will try to condition us under its forceful will. And some certainly see this through the resistance of the North Node and the South Node to Saturn in Aquarius, that would not let us evolve in our individual direction. It will take a lot of balance between our will and the will of the government to achieve some kind of peace of mind. Although Taurus is a very preferred location for the North Node, it will create a very harsh and not simple aspects with Uranus, which will inevitably lead to surprising and chaotic sudden revolutions and events around the world, especially on the following dates between the 5th of February until the 18th of March. Why? Because the North Node is going to be conjuncting a fixed star that's called Algol, that is called as well the Medusa head. It is a very mutational and transformative energy on a very painful and difficult level. So on these dates, there is likely to be an event that generates a universe, very big event that can be caused from cyber attacks or cheating with something that has to do with money, or some form of impersonations that will lead to a world-class economic loss. Maybe hackers break into government systems or banks and steal money from our personal accounts. Starting in May, North Node creates a hard aspect to Saturn, so governments and laws around the world will try their best to exert power over us and control our and the world's direction, especially in the area of money and economic rehabilitation. It will not be to our advantage at all, especially from the end of June to the end of September, when the North Node will conjunct Uranus. So it is a very, very explosive energy. It will make some kind of revolution in the economic field, instability in currencies and the stock market. Something very, very surprising will happen and disrupt everyone's issues of money and comfort zone, and even the value system. Uranus is the star of chaos and changes, so there will be revolutions in governments, especially regarding economy. It can be that we will face multiple scams regarding money and assets, so beware of that too. scams regarding crypto and the stock market are very, very possible, but I will speak about it more in detail in the upcoming months. So stay tuned. It's going to be very interesting and for your own benefit. I predict that a lot of people can lose their money suddenly around the world. The crypto will suddenly change, and it will be a very, very surprising year for the banking field, and not as positive as we would like it to be. It is very possible that we will face a lot of restrictions or new regulation about crypto, and it can cause, of course, the downgrade of crypto value and digital coins around the world. But as I said, I will detail it later on. On the positive side and the conclusion of this prediction, a long prediction, Jupiter is going to contribute us more abundance and optimism, especially until April, more attraction to the hidden and spiritual world. The North Node next in conjunct Uranus will create something very innovative about economy that has not been there before. It regards new technologies in the field of fintech and digital currencies. So next year is a good time for individual progress in the economic field, but beware with whom you make deals, because there will be a lot of scams in the field of money. Everybody, well, lots of people would like to get their chunk of wealth and will be very stressed about money issues. New laws, governments that will try to control more and tighten their control over us because they feel the changes as well. Maybe there will be a lot of changes, very chaotic changes and surprising changes in the field of politics. And about the health issues, I predict that Corona will no longer be such a big issue. But I can see that even right now, the governments and the politicians use Corona as a mean to control us, because it's not based on health. It is mixed with political agendas and lots of problems that does not concern our health at all. So I invite you once again to subscribe to my channel. Please put a thumbs up for my hard work. And I wish you good luck to everyone, and take care, and see you soon. Bye-bye.